Sometimes people get worried about vaginal birth because they feel the vagina that is meant to be a small hole needs to now expand for baby's head to come out, for the baby to be born during delivery. And sometimes this can scare a lot of people because they don't want their vagina to be loose, because they want to have a firm and tight vagina. So in this video, I'll be talking about things you should pay attention to when it comes to tightening up the structures down there. Hello, welcome to today's video. This is first time on this channel. We'll talk about health for mothers, health for babies, and if it's something you're interested in, join the family and let's dive right into today's video. Today we'll be discussing something very important. It's very crucial because it can be a cause of worry after delivery. Oftentimes after delivery, mom may be worried about the things going on down there. We're talking about the perineal area, the vaginal area. So you may be worried after delivery that the vagina is no longer as tight as it used to be before, and you're feeling loose down there. You just feel it's no longer as firm or as tight as it used to be before delivery. In this video, these are the things I'm going to be talking about. Things to do, practices you can engage in, things you should avoid, and things you should pay attention to after delivery so that you do not have such issues after delivery. Having such complaints or having such worry does not mean you are abnormal. It doesn't mean that maybe there's something wrong with it. It's your body, right? And if you're feeling any type of way and you're not comfortable about it, there's nothing wrong with you feeling some type of way about it. So when it comes to the structures down there, during vaginal birth, of course, it stretches. Of course, it needs to expand for the baby to come out. And coupled with the pregnancy journey, hormonal changes, pregnancy hormones, all of these things can contribute in making those structures down there feel loose or feel not as firm as they used to be before you got pregnant or before your delivery. When it comes to tightening up the structures down there are certain things you may want to put in place. There are certain things you want to avoid to reduce your risk as much as possible. Sometimes a woman may have a tear or she had an episiotomy. Sometimes she may not be properly healed and she goes on to engage in sexual intercourse. This can delay your healing, and if the healing is delayed, you have this tendency of feeling loose down there. So as much as possible, you want to avoid sexual intercourse until you're properly healed and until you're fully ready for it. So do not get carried away when people tell you, oh, you resume sexual intercourse as early as 3 weeks, as early as 2 weeks. These things come with complications. These things come with problems, and sometimes could even be infections of the womb, could even contribute to feeling loose down there as a woman. So when it comes to sexual intercourse, it is something you need to be fully healed, especially if you had an episiotomy or if you had a perineal tear. You do not want the stitches down there to loosen it. So in doing so, you want to avoid sexual intercourse as much as possible until that area is fully healed, your stitches are fully healed, and you're fully ready before engaging in sexual intercourse. Another point is inserting stuff into the vagina after delivery. We have this practice where a mom just puts to bed during the postpartum period. They bring lots of herbs. These are traditional things. They tell you, put it inside, put it inside. Those are the things that will help you tighten up as much as you can. You want to avoid inserting anything into your vagina after delivery, not even herbal concoctions, because the more things you insert into this area, especially when you're not healed, can complicate your issues. Even the non-traditional things, it's like tampons, sex toys, anything that requires you inserting things into your vagina as much as you can. You run away from such practices. The more of these things you're doing, the more complications you're inviting to your body. So when it comes to that delivery period, that postpartum period, as much as you can, if you're doing your seed bath, do your seed bath. But when it comes to you inserting stuff because you want to heal faster, this is your tradition, these are things that can complicate your journey, delay your healing. These things can actually prevent you from tightening up down there. And oftentimes I talk about this particular one on Instagram. As much as you can, you do not want to start lifting things too early after delivery. What happens when you start lifting up things too early after delivery is that there's too much pressure you are mounting on your pelvic muscles. When it comes to the vagina is not just there. Things are supporting the vagina, and the major structures supporting the vagina are called pelvic muscles. It's almost like you're holding something with your two hands. Maybe you're holding a cup with your two hands. Let's see the cup as your vagina, your two hands are the pelvic muscles. If anything happens to your two hands, the cup has no option than to fall, than to break. So that is practically what happens in the vaginal wall. So the vaginal wall is there, but they are held and supported by the pelvic muscles. So what happens is that these pelvic muscles become weak. The vagina has no option than to become become weak and become loose and become not as firm as they used to be before. So as much as you can, when it comes to lifting up things after delivery, do not start too early. Do not say, oh, I feel strong, I can do it. No, allow your body heal, fully ready for such activities. Do not just say, oh, my mates are doing it. You do not know what your mates are also suffering from. So before you go on and start lifting up things too early, ensure you are fully healed and fully recovered. Another thing is anything that can delay your healing. You just gave birth, you're not eating nutritious foods. You're eating foods that are bland, or you're just taking pap every day, or they told you your tradition was eat only one particular food as a new mom for 40 days. These are things that can delay your healing as a new mom. So as much as you can, you want your food to be nutritious. You want your food to contain as many essential nutrients as possible. You're taking your carbs, your essential protein, you're taking fat and oils, you're taking vitamins, you're taking nutrient-dense meals. So do not just say, oh, you're just eating as a new mom. Ensure you're taking good meals, nutritious food after delivery, because this is going to aid your recovery so much. Another thing that can delay your healing after delivery is that you're not taking your medications. Do not just say, oh, you've put to bed. Of course, taking medication can be traumatizing. Nobody likes it. Or should I say some people like it, but for example, I don't like it. I don't like swallowing anything. I don't like swallowing drugs. I hate it with so much passion. But it's something you need to do. So do not just say, oh, pregnancy is over, I am finally free. As much as it is tasking, as much as you don't like it, it is something your body needs. So you just put in the effort because your body needs it. So now you've put to bed, and this is the postpartum period. The medications you were given in the hospital, ensure you're taking them. Your vitamins, those things, your blood medicine, those things are going to help with your recovery. So take your medications as prescribed. Do not just say, oh, pregnancy is over, I am finally free. Yes, pregnancy is over. As much as you can, you need your medications for full recovery. Do not just discard those drugs, your antibiotics. If you are given antibiotics, your painkillers, your vitamins, do not just discard them because pregnancy is over. As much as you can, put in the effort to take those medications because they're going to help in your general well-being. They're going to help with those structures healing properly. Anything that can delay your healing can contribute in you feeling loose, down. As much as you can, you're eating well, you're taking balanced diet, you're taking nutritious food, you're taking your medications, and you are resting well. Strong woman, I keep saying, you do not go and kill yourself. You need to rest well for your body to recover. So get as much help as you can. It doesn't mean your house needs to be full. You need essential hands. You need effective hands. Sometimes one person, two persons are doing much more than when you have 10 persons in the house. So get people that will indeed help you. It could be your spouse, it could be your parents, your grandparents. You need as much support as possible so you can rest. Do not just be too quick to prove yourself that you are a strong woman. Do not just be too quick to say, oh, I can do this, I can do that. As much as you can, you need your body to rest. That first few days, few weeks after delivery, you may feel strong, but as much as you can, tell yourself that you need to rest. To not just be too quick to start your usual daily activities because you feel you are strong enough. Beyond the loose vagina, beyond the delayed recovery, some people have even fainted. Some people have collapsed in the bathroom because they thought they could handle certain activities around the house, and all of a sudden they passed out. So you do not want to complicate your issues. So you do not want to complicate issues after delivery. As much as you can, you need adequate rest. You need things that will not stress you. You need to eat well. You need to take your medication so you can ensure proper recovery. The other day I was talking about why you should not use hot water for your seed bath. Especially if you had an episiotomy or you had a perineal tear, because oftentimes people confuse seed bath for vaginal steaming. Whether you've given birth before or you've not given birth, as much as you can, vaginal steaming is not healthy for you. Whether you're single, you're married, you're sexually active, you're not sexually active, in general, so long you have a vagina, vaginal steaming is not good for you. Anything that is hot that brings out steam is not good for vaginal health. You even put yourself in a more complicated case if you just had a baby and you're now exposing yourself to vaginal steaming. If you had an episiotomy or you had a perineal tear and you want to do your seed bath, ensure your water is warm water. Do not go on and start sitting on hot water. You open your legs on the hot water and allow it because they told you it's going to bring out the bad blood, the dirt, and the nonsense from your tummy. There's no nonsense in your tummy. If you go on and start exposing yourself to vaginal steam, to things that are hot, to things bringing out steam, you may end up losing your stitches. These things happen every time. It happens every time. Women coming back to the hospital because their stitches are now loose, their stitches have melted, and it can be so bad that sometimes they even end up going for a restitch, and sometimes the place is infected. And if the place is infected, it cannot heal. There's no way it can heal. That place must be treated before we'll now talk about whether to restitch it or not. So as much as you can, run away from anything that brings out steam, sun, run away from things that are hot in your vaginal or perineal area. Do not sit on hot water. What you need for your sea bath, as you combine the ingredient for your sea bath, what you need is warm water and not hot water. These are things that can melt your stitches, delay your healing, delay your recovery, and at the end of the day, you'll be feeling loose down there. So as much as you can, avoid this practice after delivery. The last but not the least point is Kegels exercise. This exercise is so important and it's something you can start as early as you're ready after delivery. It's something you can do at any time of the day, as soon as you're waking up. Even when you're going about your day, you can do it in the morning, afternoon, and night. You can do it as often as possible. It's not something that people won't be aware that you're even doing. Kegels exercise is an exercise that strengthens those muscles down there. Like the example I gave with the cup, what happens is that your vagina is a tube that is held by pelvic muscles. So if these pelvic muscles are strengthened, your vaginal wall will be strengthened and the losing of the vagina will be so reduced. So as much as you can engage in Kegels exercise. And it's a simple exercise, a silent exercise. For those who don't know how to do Kegels exercise, it's a very simple exercise and you can practice by doing this. For instance, you go to the restroom, you want to pee, you want to urinate. That period urine is coming out. You can hold your urine temporarily. I'm not saying you should go and be doing this often. This is just for you to practice it. When you hold your urine too often as a woman, this can put you at risk of urinary tract infection. So this example is just for you to learn what Kegels exercise is, for those who don't know what it really is. But if you want to practice Kegels exercise, that period the urine is coming out, hold the urine temporarily, then you release the urine. That is practically Kegels exercise. So you hold the urine, release it. When you do that, you're actually strengthening your pelvic muscle. That is practically what Kegels exercise does. It's strengthening those muscles for you, and by strengthening those muscles, the vaginal wall becomes firmer, it becomes stronger than it used to be before. So it's something you can practice during the day. You can do it at night, you can do it before bed, you can do it as you're waking up. It's a very simple exercise and it's one beautiful exercise that nobody even knows what you're doing. You can do it when you're outside, you can do it and nobody will really know what you're doing. So if for those who want to practice how to do it, when you're peeing, hold your urine temporarily, release it, hold your urine temporarily, release it, just to practice. When you're good with it, that's practically what Kegels exercise is. I hope this video has been helpful and I hope to see you in our next video, and until then, bye.